Hey everyone, welcome to the October 28th, 2025 SIG Node meeting. We have a shorter agenda today. First up, one is from me. I wanted to talk with folks about KEP 2371, the CRI stats, and specifically as part of the beta requirements, we talked about adding CRI tests for the existing stats to make sure that the CRI implementations are reporting the stats that we want. In the process of investigating the stats that are currently existing in Kubernetes, I found a couple of them that we were not tracking in the we currently have an EDE node test that tests for metrics, and that test is missing some metrics that are being reported currently. A big gap is the PSI metrics, but there's other ones too. And so I was wondering what people thought about, what people thought were the correct set of metrics to test for with CRI test. Currently, both Cryo and Containerd fail the test for checking for all of the metrics. I know in Cryo, at least, there are plans to do this before beta, and I know Akil from the Containerd side is also working on adding the rest of the metrics, but I'm a little bit concerned about creating a dependency on having those passing in CRI tests before we move to the off by default beta we had talked about, just because of code freeze timelines and things like that. So I was wondering how people would feel if we created a CRI test to basically check that the metrics that are currently being tested in Kubernetes, and then there's a follow-up update the CRI test that covers all of the metrics that are currently existing. And then on the flip side, we also update the EDE node test suite to check all of those metrics. But we don't necessarily tie this kept moving to beta on those things.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, Peter, to have a test that passes and to be able to check for regressions. Any changes. Yeah, that would be nice, and then we can just further along, try to find out, how we can integrate better, and then replace the advisor.
And frankly, like my expectation is that we should have a test passing with all the metrics in CRI test. It should be by the end of the one, by when CRI test 135.0 is cut. If not very
Cool.
early at 136.0, but I think, my main anxiety is just the Kubernetes feature cadence moving faster than Containerd and Cryo's ability to get those metrics in, and wanting to be able to move forward in parallel, basically.
Makes sense.
How does that sound to other leads, to the people? Any thoughts on there?
As long as we have clear way forward for customers, as we discussed, we want to make sure that all the metrics are present there. So if we can ensure that, it sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's definitely my expectation, at least on the Cryo side, that all of the metrics will be present by 135.0. And I believe Containerd, that plan is the same. So, or at least by maybe a 2.2, some 2.2 version. I don't know if it'll be by 2.2.0, but so yeah, I think that will be similar. And then since this feature will be off by default in 135, I think it'll show that we're moving forward. But by the 136 timeframe, I'd want all of them to be better integrated everywhere and also better tested all over the place. So that would be the follow-up there.
Peter, I don't have concern, but I want to suggest you just summarize what we are talking about, the Cryo and the Containerd. And of course, I know that because there's two separate projects, we are driving different of the timeline, but still document there in the app. And because do you remember we did talk about a while back, and Mac and Mike and Sam and Sergey and I, we have the agreement, right? So send off the proposal to the containerd community, and also we discussed here what's the partnership, all those kind of things. And so I feel like let's cap those kind of the requirement to the containerd in the cap. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it is in the KEP. I think it's all there. I can definitely document basically the expectation, and also I'm talking with Akil, who's doing the metrics work, to make it so that we cryo and containerd are consistently behaving in this implementation. So that is there also, but I will definitely make sure to also call out in documentation gaps that we know of when 135.0 comes out, so customers aren't surprised. My hope is that we can get all the metrics in at a version of the CRI implementation so that we can release with it all working. But if we know that there are gaps, we'll call that out to make sure that customers aren't surprised. And this will be an opt-in thing anyway.
Sure. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, that's it for me. So I'm still not seeing Cyril, who owns the next item. So maybe we go to AJ.
I was just calling out for the, I had a request for creating a SIG sponsored repo. I just wanted to check with the leads if there anything else that need addressed, or if it is good for review. It needs waiting on approval over here. Just a quick one for a reminder.
Yeah, I think I just lost track of it. So node readiness experimentation sounds good. Yeah, if it will work, it's great. We need to double check, and I'm glad that you're trying with CNI and networking people. Once we get more information on how it works, then it's either being custom solutions that is uniform enough that people can use it almost as a standard, or we can even integrate it in Kubernetes. But yeah, experimentation definitely can happen in Kubernetes.
Thanks, okay. And can I consider that approval, like a +1 thing is needed for furthering on the?
Don't just do it.
Okay.
Great.
Thank
you, AJ. Yeah. Okay, I don't see any other items. One last call for any items. We have a week and a half until code freeze, so definitely it's crunch time a little bit. So I'm sure everyone would appreciate another 45 minutes to be working on their KEP work. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Let's see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.